Well, hello and welcome back to Ravenwood Acres. Today is part 4 of our emergency communications plan series. We're going to be talking about monitoring and some of the tools and devices you can use to monitor radio waves to increase your situational awareness, and they could obviously ultimately end up saving your lives. All right, so some of the devices you can use for that are scanners, shortwave radios, software-defined radios, and even your basic AM and FM radios, right? Okay, so before we get started, let's talk our new website, theravenwoodacres.com. You can go check that out. You can check us out on our other social media down below. If you're finding this series useful, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, provide feedback down below if you have any, and now let's get started. So scanners, right? I don't have one here to show you. I do have I got one that's basically parts, one that kind of works, and then a really old one that also works, but I don't use it that often anymore. However, they are a very useful tool. The Unit and Bearcat series are the ones I've owned. I got some videos on it in on my channel. You want to check those out, you can check those out. The handhelds are a non-digital, as far as I'm tracking. I don't think they have a handheld digital one. We'll talk digital here just next, but you can get into that market for about $80 to $120 range. You can find used, sometimes get them even cheaper. The handheld ones are great because obviously you can take them on the go easily, because they take batteries and whatnot. To get into the digital, which most major metropolitan areas have moved their police, EMS, and fire to a digital system. It's basically encrypted, so it's hard for you to monitor them, or you cannot monitor them without one of these new digital scanner setups. And to get into that, you're looking at over $500 just to kind of get into that market. You might be able to find, for a name brand setup, you might be able to find some cheap knockoff, something Chinese made, whatnot, that probably works, that could get you there. But unless that's really what your thing is and you really want to do it, I wouldn't recommend that. It's just waste of resources. Another cheap method you can pull off that's not a great scanner, but it works, is you can get one of these Baofeng radios or one of these other radios like this. You're gonna have to learn how to program them, get the programming software and the programming cable, but these are usually less than $30 on Amazon, depending on the what's going on in the market at any given time. Look up your local frequencies. I'll put some links for that down below. You can program everything from police, fire, EMS to your local public works people. Also on there, you're not going to get a whole lot from them, but you can find all those frequencies. They have to list them. It's FCC regulations. That's all publicly available. Program them there, and there's a scan button on these. It's not as good as a scanner, but it'll get you by. Last is a phone app. I use the Scanner Radio app. I have the Pro version. I believe I paid $4.99. I'll put it up here in the video. 4 years ago. It will give you notifications when there's increased listeners. Basically, there's people out there that have the real high-end scanners, probably well over $1,000 scanners that are hooked into an internet database, and so you can kind of tune into your local area. Depending on your area, sometimes you might have a hard time finding. If it's not a very populated area, you might not find the scanner channel for Podunk, America. I'm just saying. It's just even where I'm at, a fairly small city, where Ravenwood is located outside of. There's not a lot of. It's there, but there's not a lot of traffic on it. So, but it's good for those large metro areas where, hey, a lot of us work, and you might want that situational awareness that something is going wrong in that city, especially you're getting ready to get on the road, or you need to get on the road, knowing that you need to avoid your main route because there's a riot along there. And we all seen what have happened in some of these recent riots. You don't want to be stuck in one of those inside your car, because you now become a target of their aggression. And that's what this series is about, helping prevent, is you becoming a target or putting yourself in situations that you're going to have a hard time getting out of. All right, moving on to shortwave radios. These handheld versions like this one, this is the EMCOMM GP-5, this SSB, which stands for single sideband, which is what you want if you want to get those kind of worldwide communications. This could give you worldwide situational awareness, like stuff that's going on in Europe right now with Ukraine and Russia and all those other things. If you have the right antenna set up, and obviously your location can have some variance to that too, and atmospheric conditions, and we won't get into that in this video, but there's a lot of variables. This is a cheap, I think about $85 range. There's a Texon that's almost the exact same radio. Pretty sure they're all made by the same company. They're just branded per, who wants to use them. So you can use that, but you're definitely going to need the long wire antenna. All this stuff, links will be at ravenwoodacres.com or theravenwoodacres.com or down below. You guys can check that out. And then you, of course, with the single sideband, it's kind of like the scanners. You can spend a lot of money. You can get big, giant units if you're interested in that. There's YouTube channels dedicated to shortwave radio listening. There's websites you can find if you get interested into it, like different channels you can find and listen to. So lots of options out there. Let's move on to software-defined radio. I did touch on this in part 1, but I have right here. I'm gonna knock my antenna over. I got a real high-tech setup right here now. But I have this awesome little Malachi clone. Links will be down below, or descriptions for this radio. But it's about a $130 unit from AliExpress. You're gonna have to wait a long time because it's gonna come on a slow boat from China. I got it hooked up to MLA, the active loop, MLA 30 active loop antenna. That's about a $30 antenna. Right now I was listening to something local. I don't know where they went. We lost them. But the cool thing is, even though I'm currently in South Korea, I've been picking up a lot of Chinese radio stations. How do I know that? You can pull up like an app like Google Translate, put the microphone version where it listens. It'll detect the language. It'll tell you the language, and then it'll start doing a okay job, I believe. Obviously, I don't know the language of translating it. Give you a general idea. They're just normal radio stations. Nothing like special or anything. However, like I said, those are cool features you can use them with these radios. You can get the dongle setups. I'll have a link for that right up in here, or a picture of those. They're oh, there he is. He's back. He's making noise. Sorry. Just some guy. It sounds like he's just on there talking to himself. But the dongle setups they're a little more complex. You got to have a computer to use them. You have to download the software. The software is not super intuitive. There's lots of good videos. You can figure it out if you want to. You can get set up for those for less than $50. You definitely want a long wire antenna set up for them at minimum, or one of these active loop antennas like I showed you here. I'll put a link that up here in the video, or a picture up here in the video of that too. But there you are, once again, worldwide, local FM, AM, FM radios. You can pick up your ham radio frequencies. You can pick up, if they're not, I'll have to do a little research on that about digital frequencies from your local fire and police. That's good. That's a do out for me. And last but not least is your basic AM, FM. Of course, you can get that on these, the shortwave radios. You can get that on the SWR, software defined SDR radio, or SDR. You can even get an app on your phone. Most phones, if it's not locked, from what I've heard, I've never tried it. Maybe I should for a future reference. But suppose your phones do have an FM receiver in them, and you can download an app and be able to listen to FM radio stations on your phone. So there's lots of options out there. The whole point is, like I said, situation awareness is key. It's super important to be able to anticipate maybe, or plan appropriately as situations develop. Wildfires, anybody that lives in the western part of the United States or any part of the United States that's susceptible to wildfires knows that situations develop very rapidly, and be able to have alternate means other than just your cell phone or the TV. You can actually hear, people on the ground making reports over these radios about what's going on. You will have to obviously understand your local area. Listening to the police scanners can be a little confusing. They use a lot of codes. You have to look those up. There's a learning curve here, but that's what this is all about. Developing a good, solid emergency communications plan with lots of redundancies, so that you can, protect your most precious assets, yourself and your family, right? And your loved ones, anyone who that may be. All right, so didn't go too long here. I hope you guys found this useful. Once again, please like, subscribe to the channel. Ask me questions, feedback, whatever down below. Check out our website. Check out our other social media links. And have a great day.